Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I'm here today with a 12 by 12 layout for you using the November Kitaholic kits. And the photo I have there is a beautiful photo. It's of one of my grandmothers with my nephew. We popped down to Bendigo before my other grandmother passed away to visit her, and we popped in to see this grandmother as well. And yeah, I just snapped this candid shot of her with my nephew, and she doesn't love her photo being taken, but in this one she's smiling. She didn't know I was taking the photo, so it's a really beautiful photo and I really want to scrap it. I think I will probably give it to my sister for her to include in my nephew's baby album, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll keep it for myself. So I just pulled out some of the pattern papers in the kit this month, and I'm just kind of backing my photo. I really didn't start this layout with any particular direction, I'll be honest. I got home from work last night and I really just wanted to do some quick scrapping, and so I actually made 2 layouts last night, which I don't often do, but both of them only took me maybe half an hour each, not even. So I didn't overthink this one. I was just you know, laying out pieces of paper, trying to use up some of my sort of scrap pieces that I've got left. You know, I got the paper add-on this month, and so I have a lot of paper, and I was, Steph, our fearless leader at Kitaholic Kits, had challenged us to kill the kit, and I'm really struggling. There's so much stuff. So I was just trying to use up some of the scraps before I cut into the big pieces, but I think I do end up cutting into some of them because they're just too nice. I needed more. So as you can see here, I am kind of just layering things up and kind of trying to figure out how I want everything to look. And yeah, I'm just sort of, I don't know, enjoying myself by just, you know, playing around. I really, as I said, I had no huge amount of direction. I was just going for it. I do know, like always, I like to scrap with a white background, so I always start with that, and then I like to do layers, and I usually like to have some blockier pieces of pattern paper, so that is ultimately what I end up with. So, you know, it's the same style that you see me do all the time, just slightly different ways, I suppose, of putting it together. I should try something different, shouldn't I? But when you've got something that works for you, I just, you know, you just want to keep going with it. So these 2 pieces, long thin pieces that I'm working with now, are part of the exclusive cut parts that we get in the kits. So I do know that I want to use those, and I will leave them at the top and bottom like I've done there. And this is the point where I realised that I'm just going to stick with my same old thing that I do for most of my layouts, and that's strips of pattern paper. So sometimes I do one big strip of pattern paper, sometimes I do smaller strips, and this time I've gone with sort of the smaller strips. And yeah, so, you know, as I said, I've gone back to something that I always do. Try for something different, don't like it, go back. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm just sticking that down, trying to make sure that I get it straight on my page, which I always find a challenge. And I don't care that much, but I do like to make sure that the edges are at least lined up. Yeah, so, you know, just going to try and attach those. I probably waste a bit of double-sided tape. I probably don't need quite as much as I put down, but, you know. Double-sided tape, the tape that I use. I just used one from Spotlight, and it was on sale today, so I just bought another 6 packs. 3 of the thicker one and 3 of the thinner one, so I won't run out for a long time. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if I use a bit more than I probably need to. I don't want it to come up in my layout, I guess. So there's not much I can say about sticking things down on the layout, really, can I? There's only so many times I can say I'm just sticking this piece of paper to my layout. Oh dear, sorry, I'm very tired. We're putting in a swimming pool in our house, and so, well, not in our house, in our backyard. And so today we spent a little bit of time, which ended up being 4 hours, over 4 hours, looking at pool tiles and pool fencing and, you know, other wonderful things about backyards. So I was a bit over being out of the house and thinking about pool things by the time we got home. So we've only just walked in the door probably about 15 minutes ago. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this voiceover while I, you know, want to put my feet up, because my feet are sore from being on my feet and walking around Bunnings and tile places and, you know, all that type of thing. So I shouldn't complain because I'm really looking forward to the swimming pool. But it's going to be a big process to get there, I think. Although, successful trip, I think we chose our tiles, so that was always good. Anyway, tangent much. If you want to hear about my pool, very exciting. I'm sure I'll scrap about it when we get up to putting it in. So I've just decided now, I've done my layers on my photo, I've put down my pieces of pattern paper on the background, and I'm just popping up my photo because I want it to sort of pop up a bit, give it a bit of dimension. So I'm just going to choose where to stick that down and figure out what my title is going to be. But I think at this point I've probably already figured out what my title is going to be. So I'm bringing back my little tray of all the embellishments from this month's kit so I can look through it, and I decide that I want to use the Life is Beautiful wood veneer. Now, when I first got the kit, I wanted to try something a bit different, and I wanted to emboss this wood veneer. So I've got some copper embossing powder, and I decided that I would emboss it copper, and it worked really well. I did 2 layers and really happy with how it looked. I just like the metallic-y sparkle that it gives. So I'm just deciding whereabouts on my layout I want to put that Life is Beautiful title, and I decided I do want to put it there, sort of roughly where I've got it now. So I'm just looking through the embellishments, pulling out a few, trying to figure out what I want to include in the layout. I have made quite a few layouts already, you know, before doing this one, so I don't have a huge amount of embellishments to choose from, but there's still heaps left. And just in one of the what do you call it, the sections of my tray there that I keep my kit in, I've actually got all the random leftover bits from previous month's kits as well. So I pull some of the stuff from previous month's kits. I'll tell you when I stick those down what I've used from previous months. So that Project Life card that I pulled out from the top right is something that I've decided that I want to use as like my journaling space, because I am going to do a little bit of journaling. It was obviously a bit of a sad trip for my sister and I, because it was the last time I saw my other grandmother before she passed away. So, you know, I want to just write a little bit of journaling. I won't show you that, it's a bit personal, so probably don't need to write sad journaling live on camera, but I'll just show you how the layout turns out because I was really happy with it. So yeah, you can see here that I'm just layering some ephemera pieces. So that washi, I should have told you, that butterfly washi, oh my god, I could not think of the word butterfly. That butterfly washi was from a previous month's kit, and I've still got obviously heaps of it left. You don't often use whole rolls of washi, and so I just popped that on the kit as well, on the layout as well, and I popped some of the gold polka dot, pink with gold polka dot washi underneath the Life is Beautiful title, and I'm just figuring out if I'm going to include this happy, happy, happy banner. And it does end up making it onto the layout. And then now I've decided that I do want to put the journaling card down there. And then I was thinking, do I do it off center? But because the pattern paper behind it is kind of horizontal, symmetrical, it's symmetrical, I don't want to make the journal card a little bit off center, so I keep it straight. And I just decided which way was up. I don't know if there is really an up, but I decided that I wanted the flowers at the bottom. So I did stick it down with double-sided tape, but I do end up just putting a bit more of the the butterfly washi at the top, just as almost, you know, a fake little sticking it down, but I've already stuck it down with double-sided tape, so I don't need to worry about that. And I'm just going to glue my title down now, so I'm using a little bit of Tombow. My sister did a layout, and I think it will have already gone live, or maybe it'll go up in the next couple of days, using this title as well. And she stuck it down with double-sided tape, and she said it wasn't as successful, but using the Tombow was super easy, and it definitely has stuck it down, and it's not going to go anywhere. So I stuck that down, and now I'm looking at attaching these little embellishment clusters. I do put a bit of twine into the hole in the tag. I don't always do that. I know a lot of people can't have tags without the twine in the top, but I'm not that fussed. But you know, we got twine in the kit, so I thought I'd stick it on just for a bit of different texture. So I'm just sticking down the other little pieces I decided on. I had to move everything off because I couldn't get the little banner that says weekend trip, I think. So I had to take everything off and tip it upside down so I could get that little banner out. So I've stuck that one down and just sticking the other little cluster pieces there. And I think I end up popping up the two little flower or floral pieces so that they're kind of level with the photo. Yeah, I do. So popping both those two up, and then I'm just going to stick down the two ephemera pieces down the bottom left. So I do the banner first because I want to make sure I'm covering the hole with the floral piece, because I didn't want it to be a tag. I just wanted it to be kind of more of a ephemera piece with the word rather than being able to see the hole. So I sort of positioned that so that the floral piece would cover the hole. So I've stuck that one down, and now I'm just clearing my workspace a bit and figuring out if there's anything else I want to include. So I think I put some, oh no, I'm sticking down the dot in the eye, and it takes me a while. So I have to do it twice before I get it right. It was very fiddly. It would have been helpful to have a little tweezers, but I did not, so I made it work in the end. So now I'm just thinking, do I want to put something else on it? And I do end up adding some rhinestones to the layout, so just sort of sprinkling those around the page. And then I'm pretty sure, in fact I am positive, that I do add some Heidi Swap colour shine to the layout. I don't, however, remember the colour that I chose, so I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen so I can tell you. So I think I'm just giving it a good shake before I try to sprinkle it. So I'm going to say it's gold. But I'm probably off on my Razcog, which is where I keep all of my sprays, picking the colour that I want and also finding a piece of plastic to cover the photo. So I don't always cover the photo. Sometimes I risk it. Oh no, I've gone for the raspberry colour, I think. So sometimes I risk not covering the photo, but because this is such a lovely photo and it's a bit special, I didn't want to get a big blob of colour on my grandmother's or my nephew's face, so I did cover it. So yes, I went with the raspberry colour because I thought it matched quite nicely with the tones of the page, and then I am using the gold. So I do have to give mine a pretty good shake. I don't know if everybody's is the same, but I definitely have to shake all of my Heidi Swap ones quite well to make sure I get that kind of pearlized finish to it, otherwise it just looks a bit watery. So that's the end, and now I've slowed the video down. Well, I haven't, it's regular speed now. So you can see the close-ups without me rushing through them. So you can see here that's the lovely coppered title that I've got, and just, oh, that beautiful photo. I love that photo. It's so lovely. And the little embellishment cluster. I was really happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys like it too. We've done a few more with the Kitaholics, the November kit, so I'll link them down below. But yeah, really happy with how this layout turned out. I hope you guys have had a great day and a great weekend. If you're in the weekend, it's the weekend here in Australia, so I'm enjoying a bit of, downtime. But we will see you all in the next video. Okay, bye!